Gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus, and today we've got quite a doozy. We've got another winged instance, but one of the biggest ones, and actually one of the most memorable ones. It's just unfortunate that some of the bigger quests are no longer in there. Today we're going to be taking on Blackrock Depths. Now, before we get started, there's a little bit of lore I need to bring people up to speed on. So you might have remembered when we did Searing Gorge and Burning Steps, I went into a little bit of that lore, is that the Searing Gorge, Burning Steps, Blackrock Mountain area was home to the Dark Iron Dwarves. There are three factions. The Bronzebeard Dwarves head up Ironforge. The Wildhammer Dwarves are out in Twilight Highlands now, or in Airy Peak, for those who remember Classic WoW. And then you have the Dark Iron Dwarves. And the Dark Iron Dwarves were situated in Blackrock Mountain. Their city was in there. So at that point, in order for us to be able to take them on, because now they are loyal followers of the Fire Lord Ragnaros, we're going to have to go in there and kick some butt. And like I said, this is a winged instance. So we're going to be taking on first the Detention block of Blackrock Depths. Now, unfortunately, the instance still treats itself like it is linked up, so we'll probably just link into things like we did with Dire Maul. But we also have a bunch of quests to take in here, one from Thaltruck Proudtusk.
What you want?
Into the prison. The Twilight Hammer be here for some reason. We don't know why, but Daltrak be letting you all in on a little secret of ours. The rogue Lexort waits outside the hall where High Interrogator Geston be, so he can kill her if he gets the chance. She's too smart for that, though. So you're gonna go in and do it, yeah? Go talk to Lexlord and let him know. I'm sure he'd be okay with it. Alright, so we need to find him. The High Executioner doesn't have anything for us, but Tinky Steamboil does.
Well, cut it out.
So the sealed gate. At one end of the Dark Iron Highway stands a massive gate, much like the one that protects Shadowforge City on the other side. However, we have no idea what's behind it. All we know is that it's heavily guarded by Anvil Rage patrols and the molten giant Baelgar. You simply must dispose of them and see if you can pry that gate open. Just imagine what could lie behind it. There could be an entire other half of the city we never knew about. Or nothing, who knows? Though it's probably something. So we have to kill Baelgar. And then we also have quests from Maxwort Uberglint.
What's up?
The Heart of the Mountain. For years I have sought a certain gem. It is called the Heart of the Mountain, and it's the size of your fist. The Dark Iron Dwarves, we have locked it into their vault, and try as I may, they won't let me purchase it. So I must resort to force. Fight your way to the Black Vault near the Hull of Crafting, breach its secret safe, and gain the heart. To do that, you must defeat Watchman Doomgrip, and he won't appear until you've opened every relic coffer in the vault. Good luck!
Keep it real.
Yeah, back in the day, this used to be a very big instance. And in fact, some people actually equate it to the way that the Legion Karazhan now works, where it would take a good amount of time to complete it, and maybe even multiple days. And then we also have Galamav the Marksman.
What brings you here?
Infiltrating Shadowforge City. We're fighting a losing battle right now, I'm afraid. The Dark Irons would be difficult to defeat on their own, but their elemental allies have given them a new bleeding edge warriors that we simply can't compete with. I need you to help us infiltrate their domain and kill as many of their vital leaders as possible. Hopefully that will shock their force and turn the tide in our favor. Report to Resolve Blade for further instruction. He's stationed beyond this gate and to the right. Okay, so we need to take care of that, but first we're going to take on the first wing of Blackrock Depths, which is now the Detention block. And let's go ahead and just start by killing off some Anvil Rage Overseers. Now, here's the thing. There is actually an order to the bosses, but there's a lot of bosses. So we're going to try and take them on we're going to try and take on the order as best as we can, but I'm not making any promises. As you can see, this one's pretty dang big. And then if I go to Shadowforge City, which is the upper city now in queuing, there's even more bosses. So we're going to try and follow the order as best we can, but we're going to give you the lore nonetheless. And actually, there is Lexlort guarding the way into the High Interrogator's room. Oh boy, okay. Let's go ahead and talk to Lexlort.
Get over here. If you blow my cover, I'll swear to the War Chief I'll kill you where you stand.
Alright, Twilight? No!
Gerston is too heavily guarded and too smart to leave her post, so I'm not going to kill her. You are. I'll throw in a little something I picked up off a guard to make it worth your while.
Alright, so we need to kill High Interrogator Gerston. And just going to keep making our way to him. So yeah, the way that Blackrock Mountain works is that there's actually a war going on within it. There's two rival factions trying to gain dominance of the mountain. One is the Dark Iron Dwarves, who are basically slaves to the Fire Lord Ragnaros. And quick thing right here. So we got a relic coffer key. We're going to need 12 of these, and that's actually part of the whole Heart of the Mountain quest. So we're going to be killing a lot of trash so that we can get all of the 12 that we need. There we go. Like I said, so you have the Dark Iron Dwarves who are subjugated by Ragnaros the Fire Lord and his minions. But then on the upper side of it, you have the former remnants of the Horde. So the former remnants of the Blackrock clan that are now working with the dragon, or not the dragon aspect, but the Black Dragon Nefarian in his plot to create chromatic dragons and gain dominance over the mountain, as well as over the whole world. But, you know, that's beside the point. Just trying to kill as many of these things as we can. And this should lead us to High Interrogator Gerston, and there she is. So let's go ahead and go over her lore. Oh, first of all, let's actually go over the lore of Blackrock Depths so you guys can get a little bit more information. The smoldering Blackrock Depths are home to the Dark Iron Dwarves and their emperor, Dagran Thorazan. Like his predecessors, he serves under the iron rule of Ragnaros the Fire Lord, a merciless being summoned into the world centuries ago. The presence of chaotic elementals has attracted Twilight's Hammer cultists to the mountain domain. Along with Ragnaros' servants, they have pushed the dwarves toward increasingly destructive ends that could soon spell doom for all of Azeroth. And then finally we have High Interrogator Gerston. The Twilight's Hammer cultist, Gerston, has always indulged in life's finer things. Exotic foods, fine clothes, and gem-encrusted torture tools. Day and night, her prisoners' blood-curdling cries echo throughout the Dark Iron clan's infamous detention block. Gerston proudly calls this horrific noise her symphony of screams, and she is always eager to add another voice to the chorus. So we have her. Hi! We'll go ahead and kill you now. Yay! Oh man, we're actually going to have to sell some stuff after this. Okay, so now that we have this taken care of, we can just make our way back to the other end of the detention block. Excuse me. And then we're going to take care of some of the... So the end boss for this is ultimately going to be the Ring of Law, for those who have actually been in this instance. I'm going to try and end on the Ring of Law, and I think that'll be a good point. But before then, we're going to take out as many of these as we can. First of all, by talking to Lexalort.
Oh. The Twilight's Hammer presence only complicates our mission further. But you've done your part for now. You've earned a reward for your efforts. And some rest. Let's get out of here.
So we have that. And you can already see Razzleblade over in the other side. So we'll talk to him. I believe he was part of the whole Baelgar thing? Maybe not.
Come get the voodoo.
Beyond this door lies the commander of the Dark Iron Army, surrounded by trained soldiers. Are you up for a little killing? The 109th Division, General Enga Forge and Golem Lord Argulmak are directly responsible for the horrific slaughter of the 109th Division of the Kargath Expeditionary Force. There were a lot of gold trolls and orcs in that division, many of them my close friends. Well, young blood elf, it's time for our fraudulent brothers to have at least their revenge. Unlock the Shadowforge lock, go up the stairs, and bear left until you reach the West Garrison. Kill Enga Forge and Argulmak, and don't you dare show them any mercy. This is actually going to be something for Shadowforge City, so we're not going to worry about that right away. But this door is actually going to lead us to Baelgar. And this opens out onto the Shadowforge Highway that they were referencing earlier on, or the Dark Iron Highway. Whee! I really don't want to kill too many things in here, just because I'm going to flood my inventory, but you kind of have to in order to get the relic coffer keys. There we go. How are we doing on the... Okay, so I believe we need 12, and we are going to need an additional 8. There we go. That's another 2, so we're halfway there. Now, I also might be wrong about the number, So we'll continue to collect them and make sure that we can get it done. But it's going to be in the upper city. So here is Baelgar. Let's go ahead and go into his... Where's Baelgar? There we are. The monstrous molten giant Baelgar lumbers across the Dark Iron Highway, a stunning feat of dwarven engineering carved into Blackrock depths. Ragnaros pulled the giant from the heart of the Firelands to guard a massive sealed door at one end of the highway. According to legend, only the Firelord and the Dark Iron clan's highest-ranking members know what lies beyond the mysterious gate. Alright, so,
Hi! Hi, how are you? We don't have any problems with you now, do we? No, we don't.
So now we have taken care of Baelgar. Then, let's see. I can't remember if Lord Incendius is part of it. He might not be. We're going to go ahead and treat him like he isn't. Give me a quick second here, guys. I'm going to look this up live because I want to make sure that I hit the proper bosses in these areas. Let's see, Blackrock Depths. No, he is not in there, so we don't have to worry about him. Okay, we'll take care of Incendius in the upper city, obviously. That actually does it for this part of the detention block. Now we can actually go into the detention block. Well, we were technically there to begin with. Because we did get confronted by the High Interrogator, so, you know, that did happen. So all we need to do at this point is go down that tunnel up ahead. And another quest that I really wish I could do for you guys, but unfortunately has been removed, is the Marshal Windsor quest line, which did take you into here a couple of times, but ultimately ends up in a really cool attunement quest for Onyxia's Lair, and it's since been removed. So, unfortunately, we can't do it. But now, first, before we go into the halls of the law, we must go and look for the other beings in the detention block, including Lord Rockor. Ah, crap, he's a moving boss, I don't know. We may not be able to read his lore before we take him down. Let's go ahead and take him down. Hi, Mr. Rock Elemental! And then we'll just come over here and read over the lore of Lord Rockor. And here he is. Lord Rockor loathed the scheming and backstabbing of his fellow fire elementals. To avoid serving alongside his kind in the molten core, the mighty being purposefully angered the Fire Lord. Rockor's risky gambit paid off. He was expelled from the core and forced to guard Blackrock depths in isolation. Okay, so basically he wanted to get out of the big grunt work. Yeah, he basically wanted to get out of the grunt work, and that's how he did it. Oh, just take a look at that, people. That's amazing to look at. So this is Shadowforge City. You can see the city part up here, but then there's the molten lava right there. Oh, gee, many Christmas. That's a thing of beauty. It's one of the reasons I love dungeons, people, because the finer polish just comes into place so well here. This might be the room we're looking for, because we need the Houndmaster. And there he is, actually. So, yes. Let's go ahead and read over the lore of Houndmaster Grebmar. Grebmar Fleabeard's hounds are the only family he's ever known. Long ago, the orphan dwarf began breeding canines to serve as companions and guard dogs. When the Houndmaster isn't patrolling Blackrock depths with his loyal beasts, he often treats them to the Grim Guzzler's finest Dark Iron Ale. And that's going to be another area that we're going to be discovering is the Grim Guzzler. Normally the kind of target area for Brewfest achievements. That's in most recent editions of World of Warcraft, but the Grim Guzzler has always been there. It's a big bar that actually connects in Shadowforge City. So we'll be dealing with that. Now, it's time to enter the Ring of Law and be judged. That doesn't sound bad, right? I mean, we're only being judged. Oh, there we go. So, relic coffer keys. Where are we at? 8? Awesome. Let's go ahead and enter the Ring of Law. So, before we do that... Oh, come on. I'm getting a little bit of lag, so... There we go. The Ring of Law. There is only one punishment for crimes committed against the Dark Iron Dwarves. Death. Ancient tradition calls for the guilty... Ancient tradition calls for the guilty to pay the blood price in the Ring of Law. by battling savage creatures gathered from across Azeroth. To date, it is unknown if anyone has ever survived this brutal crucible. And just because I want to... You betray the law! So all you have to do is step out onto the center. You have been sentenced to death for crimes against the Dark Iron Nation. The sons of Thorazan shall watch you perish in the ring of law. And actually, this is supposed to be like an arena, so there's supposed to be people up here. And so he opens up the first vault. Unleash the fury and let it be done. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. So that's High Justice Grimstone. And he unleashed bats on me! And there's no Batman to defend me! I am denied! I'm sorry, I had to do it at least once. Oh, and here comes yet another wave of bats. Bats. Why did it have to be bats? There you go, all the bats are dead. And here comes High Justice again. I bet you thought we were done. No, not really. Not really. There's a bunch of other cages here, dude. I'm okay with it. But your real punishment lies ahead. Okay, well, you can unleash it. Good riddance. Oh no, it's spiders! Yeah, I'm not really worried about this. It's Hedrum the Creeper. And there you go. It's actually a random boss each time, and each one it's like a beast. I've had a couple of them where it was like a Kodo beast, and then you also have the spider, and I think one other, maybe even two others. But it's just a random animal enemy that they send to punish you with it. And that actually is going to go ahead and do it for the detention block of Blackrock Depths. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and tomorrow we'll be taking on Shadowforge City to finally rid the world of Dagran Thorazan for like the 250 millionth time. We didn't say that. See you Tuesday!